everyone. Welcome to the number 5 episode of Everything Products with Ehizode. This is number 5. Like, we made it to number 5. I'm so excited that we're here again. And today I have an amazing guest. It took me how many years to get like forgive me, but she's finally here. So I'm really, really excited to have Temilade Adelakun of Google. Discovered. Hi everybody.
It's honor to be here. Once again, forgive me, goodness. I like to be very inside. But it's so nice to be, and I'm
Finally
excited
to have you outside.
Thank you for bringing me to this very beautiful place. Very happy.
It's so good to have you. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really excited about all that we're going to discuss. I feel like a lot of people are going to see themselves in your story and be able to relate it to how they can build their own journey in tech generally. So tell us about you. Who's Temilade?
Who's Temilade? This feels like an interview. Maybe I'll get another job after. But anyways, who's Temilade? Well, I presently do product marketing at Google. I have a bachelor's degree in engineering. Though right from uni, I always knew. I came into school wanting to do engineering, but school was super theoretical and I wanted something different. And then when I was in school, I did a lot of what's the future of work and all of those things. I realized that this tech thing feels like it's the way.
You didn't enter because of the money.
Everyone was I am because of the money. But then also because I wanted to like make impact, and then I sort of wanted to like find my what would fit my personality in tech, and product management, product marketing sort of fit it. I think I'm the second of 4 girls. All my siblings.
Amazing. We are all girls as well.
Oh, nice. But are you 4 girls?
3 girls, 3 girls.
We are 4 girls, and then maybe other fun things. I don't want people to know like I'm not that serious, to be honest. I'm serious but not that serious. But other fun
You really strike me as someone who's serious actually.
Well, maybe I am. But other fun things about me, I like to work out, but guess what? I have not been to the gym in over 1 year.
Wow, that's over my for someone who
I still like to work out. I watch videos of people working out. I love people having like healthy lifestyle. It's something I hope to pick up the bad habit or stop the bad habit and pick up the good habit. And I also like to make friends. I sort of have a personality that feels very private, but I'm an open book. I'm very friendly, very nice. And it's so good to be here.
All right. So yeah, that's interesting to know about you. So that you know, yeah, extroverted. Yeah, you're actually introverted, extroverted. Because I'm sort of
right. Ambivert.
So it's good to have you.
Thank you.
So yeah, so your tech journey. How did you get into tech? I know you talked about you starting from having an engineering background. So I know that kind of like gave a foundation for you getting into tech. But just walk us through how you got into tech now, in this sense that we want to like help people navigate. See how easy it is for them to move from where they are, right? And get into tech if they want to.
Okay, good question. So let me even start by saying that at some point I thought I was going to be a medical doctor, by the way, but let me not boss me.
I'm but
not. I wasn't even high that I wanted to be a doctor. People just assume that smart girls just become doctors and stuff. But I got into engineering, and then like I mentioned, school was very theoretical, and if there is one part of me I really like, I'm very curious. I ask questions a lot, and I would say curiosity sort of led me to tech. It started from me one day just calling my senior folks in school. Hey, you guys have graduated from school. What would you have done differently? One of the things they said was, hey, don't just be that book girl. Make sure you understand what's happening in like other industries. Then thank God for Android devices. I was just like, what's the future of work? Because I kept hearing that, I mean, many years ago, even up to like, future of work. What's this future of work? Am I really doing what's going to take me to the future of work? And then I read about tech. Though interestingly, when I was like, okay, tech is one of it. I'm like, what can I do in tech? And then one of these holidays, there was this like front-end web training. I'm like, let me just sign up. I'll start calling myself a techie. I signed up. It was really fun. I think what personally inspired me was the person that was teaching us front-end web. Person's a lady. So, oh wow, a woman in tech, nice.
Very great.
She taught so well. It was so beautiful. I was like, I'm going to be a front-end web engineer. Studying 1 or 2 things, but again, I have one part of me I'm very curious, and that part of me I ask myself questions as well, and I always like to be my true self. And I ask myself, do you really see yourself being like a front-end engineer as like a long-term career? Oh no. One thing I was able to validate is I like tech. I know what I want. I know the impact I want to make in tech, but I didn't know the how. So later I was like, okay, maybe not front end. Let me try something else. And I kept saying machine learning. I'm like, okay, this one sounds very serious. She's like, you say a machine learning
like
engineer.
you do a lot of things.
I did try a lot of things, to be honest. I started machine learning, and then like 2 or 3 months of upside down learning because I didn't have like a structured approach. I was just like all over the place. I'm like, this is hard. And then, but I would say that yes, it's hard, but I sort of withdrew because I didn't have like a structured approach. And different days I was hearing new PyTorch. This one, I'm like, which one do I need to learn? But things were evolving like very fast. So, but one thing I was very clear is data is like super, super important. So I just left machine learning and took data analytics like very, very serious. Learned about the libraries of Python and all the visualization tools and the likes. When I finished uni, yes, I finished the first class. Everybody was happy for me. I was happy for myself.
Finish the first.
Yes, I did.
Every way.
Yeah. Everybody was happy
From
me.
UI.
From
That's
UI,
actually
interesting. Engineering, my sister.
Badass.
Thank you. So when it was pandemic, everybody was happy for me. I was happy for myself, but I didn't know what next. I sort of had an idea of what I want to do, but I didn't know what exactly. So I did like a SWOT analysis of my life. What are my strengths? What do I consider my weaknesses? What are opportunities that maybe I've not tapped regarding my skills? After doing it, I realized I wanted a career at the intersection of business, tech, management, and data. Then I was just asking like a senior colleague, just random questions. And he's like, have you heard of product management? What's that? As smart as I was what I knew was very just tied to like just engineering. I felt like, I was like, you've never heard of product management. And God bless him, Mr. Gote. He just paid for a course then with Trefford. And I got to know about product management. It was very interesting. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. But unfortunately, after the course, I didn't get a job. I applied for one, went through the interview, went well, said they were going to call me back. But things didn't work well. And then I was at a point in my life where I was away from my parents. Like I didn't want to live with them. Not for any reason. I just wanted to be that independent girl. So I moved from Ibadan to Lagos. I was looking for a product management job. It wasn't happening. So I didn't have a choice but to start with programs. Yeah. So I just wanted like funds coming in. While I was still doing programs management, I was still applying for product management jobs. At the same time, I was also like learning, upskilling. Any products conference you see me, any opportunity to act like product manager, I was there. Very long story. It might be, just
please go on.
So I still continued it along the line. Finally, luck sort of shined on me, and then a senior friend that had a startup wanted to start something in Nigeria. It's like, hey, young girl, you spoke that you wanted something product. Are you interested? I'm like, yeah, so I'm very interested. And then they brought me on board. I was like the second product manager in their company with a startup. I worked with them for like a few months, and then along the line, Google came calling, and I'm like, I sort of didn't have a choice really, because if you were in my shoes, you're gonna do that as well. So even though I was product marketing,
yeah,
I have a curious personality. I know I still love product management. I also understood that there is an intersection. Something is gonna like bring product management and product marketing together. That same time, I felt Google is a very big company. There's a lot for me to learn, and maybe after a few years, I feel like I still want to like go back to core product management. I can just switch teams in between the company. But that's my journey, summary of my journey so far. It had some low moments. Yeah, I was not just on PC and everything, but we thank God we are here.
Yeah. So from everything that I hear, that's such an interesting story.
Thank you.
From everything that I hear, I saw that there was like the fear of missing out, where like you had to like jump on a lot of things, right?
I agree.
But but there was like focus. At the end of the day, you had to tell yourself the truth. You had to do some SWOT analysis.
Yes.
You had to like decide, okay, what was best for him. Yeah, and send them. So it means that as people who want to transition into tech, right? There's a lot of things going on. Today, I hearing there's data analysis. Tomorrow, I hearing there's front engineering. What's the new one now? AI.
It's not AI.
There's a lot of you have this fear of missing out that you want to get into the next big thing, right? So you want to make sure that you are focused. You know what you want
100%.
right? You know what aligns with you. Tell yourself the truth and then stick to it.
100%.
Stick to it and focus on
One thing I also want to add. So along the line, one of the things that even made me sort of stop the idea of wanting to be a machine learning engineer. And I'm not discouraging anyone wanting to. It just wasn't for me. So thanks to YouTube, I watched a lot of a day in the life of a machine learning engineer. So I'm like, no, this can be my own day. Because I like to talk with people. I don't think about people.
This can be my own day.
I wake up in the morning, I'm on my laptop. It's not how, no. Like, I just wanted a kind of career that has people. I'm a people person. Right? I wanted a career that's sort of like people facing, customer face. I felt like, machine learning engineer will not bring the best out of me. I'll just be doing it because of the money. And then yes, we can do stuff for the money, but at some point you might get really bored, to be honest. I wanted something that, yes, I'm doing it for the money. At the same time, I'm excited doing it.
Yeah, very good, very good. So far you've transitioned from program management to product management
Product marketing.
and then product marketing. I feel like there's like a lot of intersection. There's a lot of relatability between
100%
roles, right?
They're transferable skills.
Exactly.
100%.
So what would you say? What can you like maybe highlight the difference between programs management, product management, and product marketing? What were the unique things that you did in each of these roles?
Okay. So like you mentioned, there are transferable skills for each of these. For programs management, I think the name sort of explain it. Yeah, like sub-programs under you, maybe like a fellowship program you're managing, an event you're managing. So many projects can also fall under that. So programs, I'm just managing like project end to end from planning to execution to wrapping up. That's programs management. Product management, you're also managing something, but this time you're not managing a program. You're managing like a product, like a baby. It could be a hard product. It could be a soft product. Yeah. Hard product can be, I'm managing the production of Indomie, like from how the ingredients come in, blah, blah, blah. Soft product, of course, our apps, all the apps are you guys, the apps are using to watch us.
Yeah.
So those are like soft products. So that's
like a lot of people, when you talk about product management, sorry, Scott,
don't worry, it's quiet.
When you talk about product management, the only thing to think about is apps. Yeah, you don't need to think about technical products, digital products, but actually this is a product.
Exactly, this is a product.
Right? Industrial products, FMCG products,
100%.
and then even though their product managers are not necessarily called product managers,
but they're also managing products, 100%. Thank you. Good. You're so sad. And then now to product marketing. A product manager has designed this particular pillow and from start to finish. Now the job I have as a product marketer is, hey goodness, this looks so beautiful. Do you know this is going to be very beautiful on your bed? Have you imagined having this on your bed in your chair? Now trying to like sell it. I'm actually sold. Yeah, so I did well. I did a raise. So a product marketer is now trying to make sure that it appeals to the emotion of the target audience it was made for. Now, reflecting back as a child, I really liked these Indomie advertisements. And there's so many Milo make it like, oh, you're going to be smart. When you drink Milo, you pass all your exams. I remember when I was much younger, I was like, I'm on the exam period. Oh, yeah, Milo. Because when they sold the product to young children, it look like if you don't take Milo for your exam, you may not pass that exam. So that's the job of a product marketer, like making things look so appealing. Come to think of it, folks are using like iPhone. iPhone is not like the reigning thing. iPhone, even the ads and everything is being designed to make like, if you're not using an iPhone, you are missing out. Well, I'm not using an iPhone and I'm not missing out. But that's the job I'm doing. I am not missing out. I use a Pixel, girl. Please, I'm not missing out. That's like what differentiates like programs management, managing programs, product management, managing products from start to finish, product marketing. A product marketer can actually market a program as well and also market a product. And now they're actually transferable skills. I feel like the three of them, most of what you need. Yes, hard skills are important, no doubt. But I think the soft skills are also like super important in terms of teamwork. As a programs manager, you're working with team. When I was a program manager, I had comms people to report to, had the CEO to report to. Like you have people you're working with. So if you don't know how to handle like stakeholder management, Jesus. Even in product management and product marketing as well. Yeah. Stakeholder management is like very key. Who are the core people I need? Who are the core decision makers? So you're not going left and right because you've not even mapped out who your real stakeholders are. So teamwork, stakeholders mapping, even communication. As a product marketer, if you can't communicate well, it's even a big problem. As a product manager, you're working with the designers, the researchers, even the engineers. If you can't communicate well, it's a problem. As a programs manager, you have to communicate with your stakeholders. There are also some other like soft skills like emotional intelligence. You're working with like different people. Engineers who could sometimes be difficult. You don't want to see when someone pisses you off and you're like having a bad day. Like you need to know how to like manage your energy, know when to smile too much, when to be very firm. Oh no, we are doing this or nothing, that kind of thing. So soft skills are very important for these three different jobs. But in terms of hard skills, there are also things that actually can be learned because I mean, Google is my first shot at product marketing. I can boldly say I'm doing it so well. Thanks to like, okay, maybe the internal online courses that the company provides, like sort of like get us become top notch in our skills, and also some external courses that I'm just taking to become like much better. But I'll say the soft skills, you have to like be very intentional about having them so you can have like a very beautiful career.
Amazing, interesting. Thank you. So yeah, how has your journey been as a product marketing manager? PMM, right? at Google, has it been? How's your growth been? What has been the biggest challenge you've had? What has been like the biggest achievement that you've had so far?
That's a very good question because I clocked 1 year last July. I clocked 1 year July, and I had to like also take time. Thank you. This thing is moving. I have to take time to reflect as well. So honestly, it's been a very good experience. I mean, I was very scared. Even when I got the email that I got the job, get pinching myself. Is this real? I've never done marketing before. So what did I tell them? What did I say that made them feel like, oh, this girl is gonna be? I mean, that was imposter syndrome talking, by the way. So when I resumed, I think that one thing I like is, I mean, the company sort of has like structures where you are not left alone. I had like a work body. I also had like a team body. Someone that was on marketing was my body, and someone that was just in the company that was my body as well. So they sort of like directed me on what to do. I wasn't sort of lost. The first 6 months was actually a bit scary for me because you're in a meeting and everybody is talking, and then everything you're saying is just like,
And you're using
it's just a lot. So many. I mean, because they're a very big company, things are changing, like new updates every week, and then you're having to like move with the pace of the company. But along the line, it's been 1 year, and I would say that it's honestly one of the best decisions I've made in my life, and one of the best, something I consider like a huge privilege to work with like very smart people, so much to know, so much to learn. I had to like unlearn some not so good behavior of mine. I had to like learn new ones. I had to relearn the ones I already know. In terms of challenges, I'll say that in all honesty, I sort of struggled with stakeholders management when I first joined because it's like a global company, you need approval from this or approval from this. Some days I'm like so pissed. Can one person just say yes or no? Because one person has said yes, and that person has said no. Then after speaking with my manager and a few colleagues, realize that Temilade, you decide who your stakeholders are for this particular project. If not, you are adding plus this person to this email plus this person. You get so confused. That was one of the biggest challenge I had because I had like different projects where, and it still boils down to me making the mistake because I didn't clearly map out who my stakeholders were. And it felt like everyone was trying to contribute. I didn't even know who even wants. I literally got lost. I not even knew that I was the owner of the project at some point. So that was one of my biggest challenge. And I had to learn, thanks to the very kind people who sort of like guided me, taught me things to do moving forward. So subsequent project I was already like a badass stakeholder mapper. But that's one challenge that clearly comes to mind. Every other thing has been very good. In terms of achievement, I would say that, you just, how do I say, because of maybe in terms, the kind of every quarter you have things you have to achieve. Like every quarter I'm achieving something. Some I can't like maybe clearly spell out, but my work revolves around maybe doing like go-to-market strategy for like new products, doing growth marketing for existing products, and making sure that I use data to like analyze, okay, now we want to grow daily active users for this particular product. What are patterns from our not so active users that I can use to sort of use growth marketing as a tool to like sort of attract them to continue using the product. Those are things I do on a daily basis, working with partners. I've struck like a number of partnership deals with like a few companies where we have to like work together to like launch something together. So, in terms of achievement, it's a lot. It's just been a good journey, to be honest. Let me not worry about beating about the bush, but it's been a good journey. So,
So you talked about people like showed up on the way and how you like got help from people like to navigate. So that's points to like mentorship.
Yes.
Points to guidance. So sometimes these days people like send me messages, hey, I want to be, please be my mentor and all of those kind of things, right? So how did you get those mentorship opportunities? Did you like maybe reach out to them and say, please be my mentor?
You mean within the company or even out?
Yeah, generally mentorship for you, like because I know that it's been like something that helped you scale your
100%.
Something that was very, very important for you to scale it. So how did you approach getting great mentorship relationships, and how did you leverage them?
So I would say that I'm not someone that likes to, these days people, everybody will good as my mentor. I'm not someone that I've learned, maybe I learned on my own that in terms of mentorship, it's much more interesting when goodness spots you down. Girl, I really have so much interest in you. And how do I make goodness spot you? I'm commenting on your posts, you say you launch a book, I've read it, I've given summary, I'm tagging you, just like sort of get your attention. And then one day we eventually meet physically. Ah, dear goodness, it's Temilade. Oh, that's been commenting. So I'm not someone that force people to like me. I sort of play a very careful game because I also want to be sure that before I've met you today, you spoke so well. I'll not just go and approach you and say, come and be my mentor. I've also learned that that's very scary. So come to meet me today and say, hey, come you're not getting about it. Just the stuff I've just said, you think I can be like a good mentor. So I think for me, I've just learned to serve people. Instead of serving people, I've made them see, oh, they just take like personal interest in my life, by an act of service. And also me just being intentional about, oh, I really like this person. I want to be close to this person. I want to like experience a mentorship relationship with this person. So what I do is just maybe commenting on their posts, tagging them when they post something very relevant. Things like even, oh, it's someone's birthday, I could send an email or send something. And then by the time I really need them for something, we sort of have like a little rapport that sort of makes it easier to like just continue that conversation. But if I'm to advise anyone, one of the best ways, you yourself be attractive to be mentored, sort of look very serious. Let me give an example. When I was going through the old Google application phase, I just reached out to someone else that works at Microsoft as a product marketer. I sort of just wrote, so, I'm applying for this. I'm presently at this application stage. I have done ABC. The person knew that, okay, this is obviously a serious person. Yeah, this is obviously serious.
They know what they are doing.
She knows what she's doing. So it was very easy for her to help me. I said, okay, let's just continue this journey together. I think one other advice I would give people is, this is like, we're in a global world and people are also careful about people they bring to their corner, people they call mentors. And then when you meet someone for the first time and you say, come on, my mentor, and believe me, they've gone to check. Let me even check this person's Twitter. Let me check their Instagram. So you also want to present yourself. I don't say be very formal and be all serious, no. But you also want them to see value in who they're about to call a mentee or whatever. But for me, I've never forced mentorship. That's come like people feel like this girl is just serious. I like what she's about to do. I like her dreams. And when I speak to people, I bring my real self to the table, just wanting to talk to them, engage, and like, oh, I really like you. Let's continue the conversation. And then one other thing I want to say is, when you've observed that someone has taken interest in you, I feel like every opportunity you have, let them know that interest is not a wasted interest. Hey, based on our last conversation, you mentioned I should do A, B, C, D. This is the update. They're not even asking you for update. They're on their own. And you are just like giving them update. Like, no, I really just like this person, sort of. So those are like little tricks I put or that works for me. Sort of. I don't force. I don't just want to say and say, come and be my mentor. Some people, it has taken like more than a year, 2 years for us to become really close. But I'm very patient with that. Them getting to know me also getting to know them, and then we click a few months later, a few years. And some people it's like automatic click, like me and you.
Yeah, right. So yeah, one thing that you mentioned about like giving updates, right? I think that also boils down into stakeholder management as well, like giving proper updates, like following above, right? Yeah. And then managing below as well also. Yeah, but what other skills are important for like product managers? I'm talking about like hard skills now, like product marketing managers. Sorry, I keep missing.
So for hard skills, I'll say that even having like the foundation of like digital marketing is very, very important. So after I got the job, I had like a month to resume. I sort of had to, because I'd never done marketing before, I sort of had to understand what is even the foundation of like marketing itself, understanding the different tools.
So you will do more of digital marketing
within the company? No, interestingly, no. So I do more of campaign management. Core of my work is actually growth marketing, which is just using the internal tools to like promote like paid. When my other colleagues are doing paid marketing, I sort of emphasize the paid marketing with growth marketing. So you're seeing the paid stuff online, you're seeing ads, you're seeing influencers marketing something, and then on your device, you're also seeing like notifications or pop up regarding maybe that particular feature you're trying to like
market, like PLG that you do.
100%. So, but in terms of like, I would always advise anyone that wants to go into product marketing, it's always very good for you to understand even the basic foundation of marketing. It helps you when you get into like a big company, makes you understand what your place is. And I will also say that understanding data analytics a bit is even helping me in my role, because now I have to analyze data before I put up a strategy. Google is a data-driven company. So if I put up a strategy, I need to have checks like, previous data on maybe trends on, okay, I am going with this strategy because of this data says A, B, C, D, not just because I feel like, oh, I'm in the mood or this one feels reasonable. It has to be like data backed sort of.
Okay. So from what I hear you, right, we're already getting into like PLG. I think it's like a very interesting topic, right? So you kind of like analyze data,
Yes.
right? So when analyzing the data, how do you decide what growth experiments to run?
So I like something you said, experiment.
Yeah.
Sometimes we actually do, we start with experiments. So when I'm doing growth marketing, for every growth marketing initiative I want to take, I actually start with an experiment. And the goal of experiment is either passes or it fails before I do sort of like a full rollout. So, but again,
That's tricky because you work in a startup and you have the experiment failing. Yeah,
well,
you can't make it.
maybe that's very different between like
Yeah.
in one of the rules we have, of course, not waste company fund. And maybe the good thing about growth marketing is internally for my company, it costs $0. We are not spending any money because it's in our internal tools. We use our internal tools, so it's not so it's fine if an experiment fails. But what's very important is what lessons am I picking? It's very weird if I now do three back to back experiment failure. Then there's something I'm missing because the first one that failed, I should have. What happened? Why did it fail? Was I maybe targeting the wrong user? Was it the messaging copy that was not appealing enough? I should be able to figure why did this fail. Then I'm doing another experiment by picking learnings from the previous experiment. The second experiment has to just better pass. 3 experiments can't fail back to back. Then something's that wrong between. But yeah, that's how we first sort of do like experiment. And when we see, even sometimes, even when an experiment passes, we still have lessons to learn. Then I'm about to like a full rollout to like 100% of the audience. These are other things we can add on based on maybe some observation we see on the data that we can help get like optimum results with the full rollout.
Amazing. So how do you yourself as a person grow? How do you
mean train the company?
Well, I mean generally, you have to upskill, you have to learn
100%.
things. You mentioned before when we're speaking how like there are new things to learn in the company, there are new updates in the company every time. So how do you upskill? How do you grow as a person, as a product marketing manager? And then how do you now grow as a product marketing manager in Google?
So like I can see that's like a 2-in-1 question. So within the company, I remember when I finished my final exam, like if I see you wrong. If I see you born, I not read. But I realize that life after school is even way different because you just have to be on top of your games. So I will start with internally, like how do I upskill myself within the company internally, then externally. I think the good thing about a company like Google is like, for example, I was out of office all through last month. By the time I got back, checking my email, so many courses you just have to take and pass. If not, they're pinging your managers. So like that is how serious it is. That's really learning and development is like very important. It's like compulsory. They are online, they are internal, they'll bring like internal, maybe people who are like badass in a particular topic, they'll come speak to us. Then you have to maybe do like a short quiz to like at least tick that you've passed. So aside that, even every week there's so many newsletters. The US team did these amazing campaigns that the learnings, the Brazil team did. So you have learnings to pick from different country, different.
That's such a great organization.
100%.
Somehow you're passively learning, even though you don't
100%,
actively do
100%. The newsletters are something I don't joke with. There are some days on Fridays I just block my calendar for 1 hour. I read all the like newsletters that have come in so that I'm picking learnings, or just in case I'm working on something similar. Somebody has done the same thing in like a Japan. Why not just ping the person and say, hey, do you mind if we like rub minds together? I'm also working on something similar. So that's how I grow internally. When it comes to learning and development, Google is very top notch for that. I'm not saying this because I work there. I'm really impressed with the learning and development bit of Google. Now to externally, I also know that it's very possible for me to be my own shell. Hey, I work at Google. I'm the blah blah blah. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I also know that it's also very relevant to know what's happening within other industries. I attend like events. I attend so many events. I get to like mix with like folks from other industries. I also have like some maybe online courses. I feel like this is like very relevant. For example, I just concluded the Udacity course like not quite long, or maybe I see something somewhere. Even very courses that are done like outside of like Africa, where there's like a thought leader teaching something. I sign up for like maybe 1 hour webinar so that I'm constantly learning. I'm not believing that now I'm on top of the world because I work at Google. So I'm also very intentional. I have friends who are product managers, who are product marketers from different companies. And once in a while, I make sure I have like chit chat with them. What's top of mind for you? What's going on in your mind? What's one new course you've discovered? Just quizzing them so that I'm also like learning. Aside as I'm growing internally, I'm also sort of learning because Google uses just internal tools. So I also want to know that I know all the other external tools that are not maybe Google tools, that just in case if I want to leave Google, let it be said that I also know other relevant tools, the Trellos and the everything that we use. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, feels like you are very, very proactive about your growth.
I am.
That you have to sometimes even schedule time to. You talked about scheduling time on your calendar on Fridays.
Yeah.
Listen to newsletters.
Yeah.
You have to be actively involved in your growth.
Yeah.
Like after your 9 to 5, they say 5 to 9. So you have to pay attention to those things and make sure that you're scaling.
100%.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Are there like product marketing resources that you've used to like help yourself grow, help yourself skills? Like, are most ones that you would recommend for people who are maybe transitioning from product management to product marketing?
Even if they're not even transitioning, just in case anyone is interested in like product marketing. So I remember when I was about to interview for Google, one platform or resource I found super helpful was Product Marketing Alliance, PMA. And up till now, I still sort of go back to maybe read some of the articles or some of the posts they bring up because it was very, very helpful for me to even understand what the basics of what it means to be like a product marketer. One other one that I have honestly heard about, looking for money to do the course. Reforge. There's Reforge. I've heard.
Oh yeah, I even saw someone
out there.
I haven't done any of course, but I saw someone actually pitching for free course.
Reforge is so on point. I've heard a lot of amazing stuff.
I should actually look into it. Yes, this is the second time I'm hearing it this week.
I don't know if they allow like installment payments or something. I think that's what I'm looking for. First, like about $1,000 if I'm not exaggerating. But Reforge is also like a very good course. You get to even Reforge has the part where it teaches you about product management, teaches you about product marketing, about growth marketing. But the one I have tested and tried is Product Marketing Alliance. But another that I recommend is going to be Reforge. It's an amazing platform. It's an amazing platform.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that one of the challenges that people normally have in product marketing and product management is working hand in hand. I personally have had this issue where I am supposed to, product managers are meant to be cross-functional.
Yeah.
So it means that they have to work well with the product marketer to actually work on the growth experiments, to work on the messaging. Even right from the product, the messaging has to be on point. So it means that there has to be a lot of sync with the product marketer and the product manager.
Yeah.
So how do you work? I'm sure you work with product managers.
Yeah.
So how would you advise product marketers and product managers to perfectly sync, to perfectly work together to ensure the growth of the product, right? So sometimes I feel like most times in a company where like you're working in a startup, right? The kind of work hand in hand, and sometimes the duties can be juxtaposed because as a product manager, you're expected to do PLG, and then there's also a product marketer who's also concerned about the growth of it. So how do you work and make sure that you understand your duties, the other person understands their duty, and how do you work and sync to make sure that there is growth?
So good question. So within Google, because so far, even when while I was still working with my startup before joining with the startup, I said my startup before joining. Don't worry, your startup is coming.
Don't worry, all startup is coming. Just come to invest.
I think maybe it's my personality, but I've not had a clash with a product. When I was a product manager, I never had a clash with the product marketer. Now that I work at Google as a product marketer, the last product manager I worked with, I don't remember us having a clash. I feel like one key thing I've learned is when everyone like clearly understands their role. One advice I always give for like before you start, I know in a startup you most likely have a core product marketer you're working with as a product manager. So in Google, the way things work, it depends on your project. Working with this product manager for this project, and that project somebody else. But one thing I've learned over time, even with work generally, is beginning of a project or a product that I have to work with someone. Maybe before we have like a first 30-minute chat, let me know, let's understand ourselves. What are things that get you hungry? Just knowing like everybody's personality and clearly saying, okay, we are working together for the next 8 weeks. This is what I expect from you. This is what you expect from me. I think because I am an open book, I always clearly tell people that just in case I've crossed the line, feel free to call me. I don't get angry about feedback. I think that's one. I mean, people have given me tough feedback that I feel like crying, but like at least I'm good. It's good I'm hearing. It's either I sort of justify myself, or I just accept that yes, I was actually wrong and I have to move forward. So I've honestly not really had a clash with maybe like a product manager. Now that I work at Google, it's more like everybody knows, you know what you have to do, I know what I am to do. When you need me to help, feel free to, yeah, I mean, Google will say shout if you need help. That's like a normal stuff. We say shout if you need help. So I've never really had a clash. But one advice I always give is beginning of a project, even when you just join a new company, join a new startup, and you're a product manager or you're a product marketer, get to know your other counterpart. Maybe just having like coffee chat. And what gets you excited? What's the highlight about a project for you? What's the maybe low light about a project for you? Just getting to at least pick one or two things that'll help you like sort of work well. And one thing I always tell people is don't bring your work is work. Don't bring your personal things into work or your personal beef.
You know your family member as well.
Yeah, people say, in my last company, that's your last company. This is a new company. So don't bring like past beef or past issues into like a job. Let's just get the job done and let's move the company forward. Sort of. That's the way I see life, I see job.
Yeah. So something you mentioned, talking about receiving feedback and knowing how to receive feedback.
Yeah.
So this week I received feedback. It was so hurtful. It was painful, but I had to like find, okay, what's this person saying? Can I separate the message from the messenger? Right? Can I get what? So how do you accept feedback? How do you take feedback? And how do you now go on to like implement, making sure that you do not, you're getting the message, right?
Yeah.
And you're not just maybe feeling bad for the way it was presented and all of that.
It's interesting that I also received a feedback that I think I sort of shared one drop of tears. It wasn't from work, it was a personal, another like, it wasn't work, it was another like NGO that I'm working with. And then the team gave me feedback that I was so shocked. I didn't know it was that serious. I know my case was that serious. So I'm someone that, because I'm someone that if I give you a feedback and I see your reaction to the feedback and it's not so good, it makes me sort of withdraw next time. Because I know that I'm that kind of person. When anybody gives me feedback, I always tell people, hurt me with the truth. Like, hurt me with the truth. Don't
hurt you.
Yes. I prefer it than maybe now me hearing that I've done this and then everybody's talking about it. I mean that I have the problem. Nobody has even told me because they're like, if you tell her, she's going to flare up. I will never flare up. And it's normal when people are giving us feedback to always want to be defensive. It's a normal human personality. When it's time for feedback, I make sure I say, just keep quiet. Let them say everything they have to say. Even if it is wrong, let them say first, then give your own response. So most times I've received some feedback that I'm like, no, this is not me. Maybe you're just misunderstanding. There are some like that.
Exactly.
I'll first start by saying thank you. I mean, I really appreciate this feedback. You're giving me goodness. Like, thank you for even having the boldness to come.
Actually, my feedback of you is great.
Thank you for having the boldness to come talk to me. But I'm very sorry. I think you misunderstood what happened that I explained. And the ones where I know that they are saying the truth, Temilade, they change your ways. I mean, I would tell them I'm so sorry. One thing is every feedback I've had, even the ones I know, I don't think this is me. And the ones I know this is, I always say, oh, thanks for the feedback. Please feel free to always give me such feedback next time. But one thing you can always, if the feedback, feel like, no, I think this person is just misunderstanding me. Ask two neutral people. Don't ask your friends. Don't ask your family because they will just want to make your head swell. I say, no, you're doing good. Just ask neutral people that, hey, I'm just curious. Do you think blah, 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 blah? And they say, no. Do you think blah, 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 blah? They say, no, then just like maybe the person just misunderstood from a one-time impression. Maybe something you ask other people that are very neutral and they say, oh, yes, I think the feedback you got is right. I mean, we are all human beings. There's no point. Nobody is perfect. I am not perfect. None of us is perfect. So there's no point trying to feel bad. We are all work in progress. You're trying to like be better people. So there's no point trying to feel bad because you got a feedback that hurts. You should be grateful that you even got that feedback and that someone even gave you that feedback. Now you have a chance to be better or just work on that weakness you have. So please, I don't think we should be scared about feedback. And I think at the same time, in terms of like turning tables, any one of us that gives feedback, we should also learn to also give feedback with grace. We all have different people with different form of emotions and stuff. Let's always try to give feedback with like grace. Let it come from I'm saying this out of kindness, out of I think you're a very horrible person. Like it's always good to like give feedback with grace because it helps the other person sort of reflect well and change their ways of just thinking that, oh my God, I think I'm so horrible, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Something I heard somewhere is like if you ever not commended this person before, you're not positioned to give this person bad feedback, right? So it has to be that you have to also look at the relationship you have with this person, right? Am I in the position to give them feedback when they were doing great? Did I
say well done?
exactly?
Boy.
So you just don't come. And then again, for the person who's the recipient, you have to tell yourself the truth. You have to know yourself. There's a lot of self-awareness.
Yes,
very
very
so
key.
so that you're able to decipher, okay, is this true? Is there some truth in this, right? Or is this person just projecting their own experiences on me?
Very true.
So it's very, very, very important.
Very true.
Thank you, Thank
you. I'm so happy to be here. And well done on the amazing work you are doing.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, everything product with Ehizode.
Yeah.
If you are not tuning in, if you are not subscribed, I think you're missing out.
Okay. Okay. I was about to do that, but you're already done it for me. Thank you so much for watching the episode 5 of the season 2. Yeah, if you've not listened to the previous episode, make sure you listen to it. And if you are hoping to listen to the next one, make sure that you do listen.
Yeah, not hoping to.
Yeah. Please listen. We're going to have amazing people on the guests. And so far, we've had amazing people so far. We've had people from Google, Bumper, startups, and fintech, and all of that. And we had Temilade here today. It's been so exciting speaking to her.
Thank you for
again.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.